First question, pretty easy. Just tell me your story of how you got into gymnastics.
Oh, okay. So, like, how I got into teaching gymnastics, or like,
'Cause you did it, right? You actually did it.
mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess maybe both. Like, what got you into doing it, and then why did you want to teach it as well?
Okay. So when I was like 9, almost 10, I had a friend, like my best friend, that was doing gymnastics, and I pretty much begged my mom to put me into gymnastics, and she did. And not long after I started, I guess I had a lot of talent, so um, the person that like owned the gym just talked to my mom, made sure that I stayed there, and yeah, I did well. I loved it, and it was like my sport. Like I had done like soccer and t-ball, and I was okay at those things, but
Hmm.
gymnastics was like what I was really good at.
Okay.
I guess, yeah. And so I did it from then until about 17, till I was 17. Um, ended up getting, I ended up fracturing my ankle, and um, just kind of quitting after that because it was just getting really stressful on my body and mentally, and I kind of wanted to enjoy my last year of high school.
Mm.
But
Okay.
I just continued to help out with summer camp, and then when I was in college, I started teaching. So different rec classes, and it was a lot of fun. And then they like put me on teaching the competitive girls teams, and I just fell in love with doing that and just working towards, that goal of getting them ready for competition was really exciting and fun.
Now, did you ever compete as a in gymnastics? Did you ever do any I don't know what they call them, but any competitions or anything like that, or
Yeah, I competed USA Gymnastics and I think AAU divisions. I guess it's called a division. I don't know. um, from level 2 all the way through level 8.
okay,
And I was training for 9 when I decided to stop.
gotcha. Now, did you ever win? Do you have a memory or a time when you were doing gymnastics that really stuck out to you? Like something that was really, what's the word? Just kind of you just got yeah, yeah, it just kind of stuck out to you.
Like an accomplishment that I
Yeah,
made or
yeah, an accomplishment. Yeah.
um like at a competition,
Mm-hmm.
like specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, I did pretty well at most of the competitions I went to. I think there was one that I remember the most was one that we went to in Disney at the Worldwide of Sports.
Oh, nice.
And it was a level 8 competition, so it was the highest level I competed, and I got first place.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
think I got first place in every event, but I do remember I got first place all around.
Gotcha.
So
Hmm.
it just like hit all my routines. It was a great day.
And I guess, do you have did you ever aspire to maybe I don't know, compete on a world level? Did you ever want to do something? I mean, I don't know, were the Olympics or anything like that? Did you ever want to do something like that?
um, well, the Olympics is very prestigious.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever envisioned myself going to the Olympics,
Okay.
but I did think think about possibly doing college gymnastics.
Okay.
And we were going to start like recording me for scouts and stuff. But then I like kept injuring myself, and I just decided to not, because it was just getting too stressful at that point.
Okay.
And yeah, God had other plans, I guess. But I know I wouldn't have met certain people or done the things that I did if I had done it in college, because there's only certain schools that have gymnastics, so I would have never gone to FAU or got involved with all that.
So I guess, how did you use that platform, like, of gymnastics to glorify God and everything that you did, and then how do you do it now as are you still teaching it?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you like glorify God, I would guess, in those two, like doing it and teaching it?
Doing it and teaching. Okay. Well, I guess while doing it, I feel like God like taught me, and teaching it is still teaching me so many lessons through the sport. Because it can be applied in so many different ways. I think one of the biggest ways is how it connects with like being like having fear and overcoming fear, because it is a sport that a lot of the times you are afraid to try something because you might land on your head.
Yeah.
So like a good example would be like having a mental block on something, because okay, the skill that you've done before, you've accomplished it many times, and you never fell, and then there's one time that you fall and you freak yourself out, so you're like, wow, I can never do this again. But you fail to remember that you've done it a million times perfectly, and one time you did it wrong, and I think overcoming that is very hard, but it applies like directly to life, because when you do something a lot of times, then say you fail one time, we seem to focus on our failures rather than what God has done and how He's been faithful, and that's what we need to focus on, not on when we make the mistakes, but just trusting that He's been faithful before and He's going to be faithful again.
Yeah, that's interesting, because like I feel like our country is definitely in a lot of fear. It has a lot of fear right now, and I know our pastor. Like our at New Life, he's been talking about fear and different stuff like that. Maybe like expound on that. Like, what would you say to like people that are going through a lot of fear right now with this whole virus and everything?
What did I say? Oh gosh. Like into relation on what I was just saying, or just?
Yeah, maybe like tie it into, like you said, there's a lot of fear in gymnastics, like with different events, because you're like you have a mental block. Like maybe say like how that can kind of relate to what people are going through today with this whole pandemic and everything, and how overcoming fear. I mean, it's a little different, but how overcoming fear in gymnastics, how you can like correlate that to what to doing to the fear of people do what people are going through now.
Okay, I get you. I guess so. I've actually come up with this word before, but I'll use it. I would say, like, the way people are dealing with fearing now because of, this virus, or pretty much anything that is disrupting normal living, would be like having a faith block. Especially if you're a believer, because you know, you're just focusing on the right now of like, okay, things, I can't control this, but you know, you're causing your mind to pretty much just be blocked on that thought, on the thought of I'm scared, the thought of I could get sick, the thought of people are dying, and you're forgetting to remember, wow, God has been faithful in the past to heal people. He's been faithful to save us, so no matter what, you know, I'm held in his hands, and he has me, and you know, he has promises for our future, so to focus on that as well, and to get out of that mind cycle of just focusing on, you know, exactly what's happening now and all the things we can't control.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
And then, so what advice would you give to maybe like other gymnasts who might, I don't know, if they, like, what would you give it, like, what kind of advice would you give to like gymnasts who might want to like go pro in the sport, or, you know, or maybe what would you say to gymnasts who need help conquering their fears of, you know, like certain, you know, like fears in the sport where you get mental blocks and stuff like that? Yeah.
I would say that you need to stop overthinking and just focus on doing your best, and focus on, I mean, the way that I've found to focus on is literally to pray through those moments that I am overwhelmed with my own thoughts. Just replacing it on trusting God, because at the end of the day, you know, the world tells us to trust, you know, to believe and to trust in yourself, but I can't trust myself because my mind is whack and it's giving me anxiety. So we need to trust in God, even for, you know, sports, even though it might seem like, you know, something outside of him, but nothing is outside of him, even small things like that. So prayer and just, you know, breathing and trusting that he's carrying you through it.
Okay, I have a question that okay, so what's your favorite Bible verse, and does it apply to gymnastics, and how could you also apply it to what the world is going through today?
Yeah, it does. It applies to everything.
Okay.
My favorite Bible verse is Proverbs 3:5-6.
Okay.
Which is trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. And yep, I mean, I think that directly relates to everything we're talking about fear, because it's just, you know, to remember to trust God, that he's in control, and even when we can't understand it, we just need to trust him because he understands it and he knows, and he's good and he's in control. So we trust him, not what's going on,
Right.
or what we're feeling or what we're fearing.
Yeah, I think, like, for me, I mean, like, looking back on the past and seeing like how God has been faithful, and just apply that to like the unknown, to be like, you know, God got me through that, so I can be confident in him for the future. Yeah. So and then so what are some of your favorite events to do, and what are your favorite ones to watch, or both?
Okay, well, I feel like it would kind of change all the time depending on what I was strongest at. at the time. I feel like you kind of enjoy what you're doing best at, of
Mm,
course.
okay.
So, I love all of the different events for different reasons. But I guess I would have to say the floor because I do love dancing, and dancing is a big part of your floor routine.
Mm-hmm.
Also with the tumbling part. So I love that. But I think I did best and would score best on the balance beam.
Okay. Okay. And I mean,
Oh, and then watching. I like watching. I like watching the bars because bars is fun to watch.
okay. And then, do you have a role model like that you look up to? Was there any gymnasts like in the Olympics or anything like that that you looked up to in the past or in the present?
um, yes, sorry, I am blanking on this person's name, so let me look them up for a second. I'm
Gabby Douglas? I don't know.
No, it was an older. I think it's. Hold on, I can find it. 1 second. Was it her? No. Um. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Was it Sean Johnson?
No, I mean Sean Johnson's great. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of. Sorry. I guess. I'll just say this one. She was good too. I think her name was Carrie Strug.
Oh. Okay.
She was. Yeah, she was a gymnast in like the 70s.
Mm.
An Olympic gymnast, and she injured herself um, during the competition, but she continued to compete, and she did a vault. You probably heard of it, where she like literally landed on one foot
Oh wow.
because her other foot was like really injured.
Oh.
So, um, I don't know, just like that determination to, even though your body is saying no, like to step out of that and you know push yourself to the utmost.
Would you say that's another like a fear thing that's not like overcoming fear?
Yeah, for sure. Because um, I mean, if you're already injured, there's already fear in there because you've injured yourself. So it's like, well, if I injured myself, of course I can injure myself again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but just getting outside of that thought and um, trying again, despite how your body is feeling and how your mind is feeling.
Okay, I just thought of this question. So you talked a lot about fear and failure and like overcoming fear and failure. Like I know some people get discouraged when they try something again and again and again and then it just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would say that for myself as well because again God's been teaching me like just because it didn't work once that one time
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's never gonna work. So like, how do you tell people like even though it's really you're really afraid and you're really afraid of failure and you're afraid of all that, what would you say in gymnastics and you personally like? what that gets you to overcome that fear?
Just remembering like that accomplishing like something doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Like there you have to, you know, put a lot of effort and discipline and consistency
Mm-hmm.
um, over time and being patient with yourself because you know everyone works at different paces and you might have, you know, a friend gymnast that is getting everything right away and you're struggling with, you know, some things that are coming easy to others, but everyone has their own strengths and their own different weaknesses. And
Mm-hmm.
um, you can see that in sports, you can see that in just regular life with coworkers, or even relate it to the body of Christ, how we're all different parts of, you know, his body, but that doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
someone, you know, more important than the other. We're all
Mm-hmm.
vital to that. I don't even know if I'm answering your question. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, no, I basically what I'm asking is like, because I know people get stuck in a rut, and
Yeah.
like people just kind of like, they're like, I can't do it. I've failed every single time, but like
Yeah.
for you to just keep going and just being like, like God's got me, like this is gonna
Mhm.
work out, like just how do you overcome those fears of failure?
Mhm. Yeah, I guess just like to take a step back sometimes is good too, to like re-examine like, okay, what did I do, you know, last time that wasn't working well?
Mhm.
Definitely be able to receive constructive criticism because sometimes that's hard when,
Mhm.
you know, you have a coach that's continuing to tell you the same things over and over again and you're like, I know, but do you really know? Have you taken what they said, like, and actually tried to apply what they said? Or
Mhm.
are you being stubborn and trying to figure it out on your own or do it your own way? You know,
Mhm.
you have to be able to, you know, get wise counsel from other people.
Mhm. Okay. Um. So how I didn't answer. I didn't ask this question, but how long have you been a gymnast for?
um, so I started when I was, it was a couple months before it turned 10. So, and I'm 25 now. So I've been around gymnastics for 15 years, but
Oh
I
wow.
only did gymnastics like competitively till I was 17.
Okay. All right. Um. Well, I think that's all the questions I have.